Good evening, y'all. Welcome back to Apron's Dreams. So good to have you in the kitchen with me, all gathered around this butcher block. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for being here visiting today. Y'all are sure a blessing to me because this old house is quiet and lonely, and it helps me to think I'm talking to a whole bunch of people. Today we're going to make a chicken dish that I've heard about and read about. Never have made it exactly like this, but one of my subscribers, Susan, said she had made it and it was her new favorite, that I needed to try it. And she had mailed me some homemade vanilla and some spices, and she sent me some crushed chipotle pepper, and she said be sure to put that in it, so I'm going to do that. But we're going to make, everybody calls it Marry Me Chicken. So, excuse me, my sinuses are still a mess. I'm still in Texas, and it's 103 or 4 out there today, and oh my goodness, it's hot. So I'm in here where it's cool. I've already put my chicken breast. Last night I cut 2 or 3 big of the organic chicken breasts from Costco. Remember a long time ago I told y'all my friend saw 4 packages. You know, they have the 4 hooked together. There's 4 different ones of them. They were marked wrong. So we got them. I got 2 and she got 2. So this is one of those packages. So I thawed it and I cut them in half to make them more reasonable size. They look like they came off of a turkey. And then I have soaked them overnight in buttermilk in this Tupperware bowl. That takes some of the chicken smell and all out of them. They're not strong when you do this. So I'm going to drain this off and rinse it. Then I'm going to season them and fry them, and then we'll put the sauce on them. But there's a few little steps that you go through to make them taste good. So let me get the buttermilk drained off of them and get them seasoned and drenched in the flour mixture, and I'll tell y'all what was in that so we can get them to frying a little bit. I'll be right back, and got to get an apron on because if I'm messing with flour, it's going to be all over me. Be right back. Okay, the recipe calls for some oil and butter in the skillet where we're going to cook the chicken. So it's going to have sun-dried tomatoes in it, and I've got the ones in oil. So I'm going to take some of that oil and put in the skillet, and then I'm going to add some butter and some other oil to it, and I'm going to come over there and turn the camera a little bit because it isn't just right. If I use the oil out of these tomatoes, it's going to add some extra flavor. So I'm going to use, that's probably 3 tablespoons, because I'm not going to use all the tomatoes, so I'll just use enough to kind of add some extra flavor. Put me some butter in here and get it to melting. And I'm going to use a little olive oil too. So I'll be sure I have enough oil, because that flour that we're going to dredge that in is going to soak up. That olive oil, or the oil. I got my glove on to handle that chicken with my right hand. I hope my right hand knows what my left hand's doing. And my little wooden spoons here. And I'm going to get this melted. That's going to taste good, isn't it, with that tomato oil in there. Yummy. Then when we get our chicken brown, we're going to add our onions and then garlic. Then we'll get everything done. But right now, I've got my chicken. I just patted it dry so it had some of that buttermilk left on it to make the flour stick to it. But I've got it wax paper down and then some plastic wrap. And I'm going to get my meat thing and pound it till it's kind of thin and kind of even. And then we'll dredge it in the flour mixture. And it's got some of my favorite stuff in that flour. And then roll the chicken in it and fry it on each side, and then we'll make our sauce to go on it. Then I got to decide, do I want to serve this with rice or with egg noodles? And I should have had rice cooking if I was going to do rice, shouldn't I? But anyway, I still got time. But I'm going to pound these right quick. Let me get my meat cleaver over here. This is another one of my favorite things from Peppered Chef. because can you see that it has the little raised things right there? That really tenderizes stuff. But the flat, you just unscrew the handle and choose sides. The flat side just pounds it thin. So that's what I didn't want to poke plastic wrap down in my chicken. So I'm gonna just pound them out a little bit, try to get them all about the same thickness. Okay, those should be about the same thickness. Now into my flour, I have about a cup of flour in this pan, and I've got a couple of teaspoons of onion powder. I had one of these already out. Where'd it go? I don't know, so I guess I'll get another one out. I've got onion and garlic powder, about a teaspoon. It called for a half cup of flour to a cup. So I put 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and a little less than a teaspoon of salt, because I think I got my little mix over there a little bit salty. But this is what I'm going to dredge that chicken in, but I'm going to season the chicken too. Now here's what we're going to season the chicken with. In here I've got a teaspoon of Italian seasoning and probably a half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of onion, and a teaspoon of garlic. And I've stirred it all up real good, and I'm going to sprinkle this on the chicken, put the flour on it, sprinkle it on the other side, probably dredge it in flour a second time. Then I'm going to brown it in this good hot oil over here, cook it on each side 2 or 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes I think it said, make sure it's done. And then I'll take it out, and then we'll do some more stuff in that same pan. I like this one pan stuff, that's less washing. I think that's better. I'm just going to sprinkle this on the chicken. Oh, it has a black pepper in it too, y'all. I cracked quite a bit of fresh black pepper to put in it. The chipotle is going to go in the sauce that we make to go on it. I am going to put a little bit of flour on this side before I flip them over, because there's a little bit of that buttermilk stuff still on this paper, and I don't want it getting all my flavor off. So I'm just going to do this number. Y'all, my air conditioner went out in the sunroom. If it ain't one thing, it's 10. So I had to go online and order me because I got a window unit out there. When we built it, we put in one of those, I call it a hotel air conditioner. Those little things in the wall that's a heater in a, but that was years ago, and that thing went out, and we had put a window unit in to just help cool, because there's 17 windows back there, and they all went out. So I ordered and told them that I'd pick it up, and that's probably them texting me to tell me it's ready, but you have a few days. I'm not going after it today. Little Richard's gonna put it in for me. Thank God for Little Richard. You just take that one out of the window and put this one in, but I wasn't very excited about it going out. That wasn't in my plans. Okay, let's see what I can do. Just trying to shake this on a little bit because I got my hand all wet and messy. My doing hand there. This one I'm going to have to shake some on. I ran out. And I want it flavored. I'm not a good left-hander, I'll tell y'all that. Onion and garlic powder, I'm not going to mess up with that too bad, I don't think. This side's not going to have any Italian on it, but that's okay. It'll be in everything else. Okay, so now I'll dredge it again in the flour. Alrighty, let me see here if my stuff's hot enough. I'm going to turn it back on, let it sizzle just a little bit, and then I'll put it in there. Let me bring the camera over here where y'all can watch me work. Okay. It's a sizzling a little bit, so I'll put them in. I got one more, but it's this big one. I might ought to cut it. I don't know. And a little orphan piece. I'll work it down in there in a minute. I'm going to let that brown, and then I'll flip it over, and then drain a little bit of this out, but I got to have some to do the onions and garlic in. So I'll be back in just a minute, and we will work on it some more. Okay. Let it turn here. Okay, I'm going to let this side brown good, and then we'll do the next step. A few days ago, I made gumbo, and I took a cup of rice, because I make a bunch when I cook, and freeze it. So I'm just going to thaw this rice, and that's what I'm going to serve this over. Okay, I'm just going to take my chicken and put it in the pan that I rinsed out. I'm going to cut my fire down some. Now I'm using a shallot. It's 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup of onion, but I'm using a shallot so that way April and Lauren will eat shallots if they don't like onion. And I'm going to let that just cook down just a minute. And then I'm going to add my garlic in. But I want this to just saute just a little bit. And I think I'm going to get a paper towel, blot up a little bit of this liquid. I think that's a little too much oil left in there. Whew, it's a little bit hot. I better get me a rag. Alright, how's that for getting some of it out? Now that's about the right amount. Okay, I'm going to add in my garlic. 3 cloves of minced garlic. More if you want it. And you only want to do that for about 30 seconds. You don't want it to burn. Now I'm going to add in about 4 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes, which is about half of this bottle. and 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. Go. This stuff costs too much to leave it in that measuring cup. We're going to add 1/3 to 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan, and we're going to let this simmer until it thickens. And I'm going to just add a pinch of this chipotle here. It's smoky. It'll give it a little smoky flavor. A little teensy bit of heat. I mean, how can this not be good with heavy cream and sun-dried tomatoes and all the flavors in it? Okay, the cheese has melted and it's thickened up a little bit, so I'm going to add my chicken back in. I want some of the stuff up on my chicken. I'm just going to let this cook on low just for a little bit, and then I'm going to put some basil leaves in it. This basil is organic, so I rinsed it anyway, but I'm just going to go ahead, put some around on it. And I'm just going to let it keep simmering just for a little bit. Make sure that chicken's all done. I have one of those nice thermopens, but it needs a battery. So I can't check my internal temp. So I'm going to cook it just a little bit more just to be sure. Turn over there. Okay, let's let them cook a bit and then we'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all. I just put the lid on to let it set a little bit and let the flavors all blend. So I'm gonna plate it up and show you what it looks like. I'm gonna taste of it, but I'm not gonna eat right now because I think the kids are coming and it'll be a lot more fun than eating by myself to eat with my daughter and her children. So let me get some plated, and I'll put that little piece where, no, I'll make it pretty, but then I'll save it till they get here. Okay, y'all, I got it plated up, and I'm fixing to taste of it. I put it on rice instead of noodles, and put some green onion blades on the top. And I'm going to set this camera back up on the tripod, and then get me a fork and taste of it. Okay, let me get me a bite of the chicken and some of the rice and juice. That sauce is what looks so yummy. Let me see here. I made a mess, didn't I? That chicken's tender. And that sauce is good. Y'all need to try this one. I might need to think of a better name for it, but right now, every recipe like this is calling it Marry Me Chicken, so I don't want y'all marrying me. I just want you to eat some of my chicken recipe. Got 2 or 3 more laying over there on the counter that I'm getting ready to video. So maybe I can have a few coming out, maybe 2 a week, I hope. I had to get me some tea. I wanted to show y'all something that I bought at Costco. You know those salads that you can get in the refrigerated section there where the vegetables are, and they'll be Southwest or Greek, and they'll have a little package of crunchy stuff in it and some sauce to go on your salad or dressing. You can make your own salad, and this is organic salad topper, and they're $8 or $10 for this huge bag, and just like 1/3 of a cup or 1/4 of a cup, whatever, not that much. So sprinkle it on your salad, and you've got one of those salads that you're going to pay $4 or $5 for. So I got this at Costco, but I'm sure other people have it. It's just organic salad topper, and it has in it, I know, pumpkin seed. Let's see if I can see without glasses on. Sunflower seed, dried cranberries, roasted pumpkin seeds, and tamari sauce. I guess that they mix it all together and then dry it. But anyway, it's very, very tasty and very crunchy. So if you like to put stuff on your salads, that's a good thing. I just thought I would share that with you. I'm going to continue to tell you to get a few extra things and stock it up in your pantry. You never know. We've got a hurricane brewing in the Atlantic. I hope it goes away and don't come over here, but we never know. They tell us the tropical waves coming off the coast of Africa, and then it's going to be, you know, we know the words that they're saying. That means it's headed toward the Gulf. So we don't know. But what I'm saying is, this has been a way of life for us on the Gulf Coast, because if a hurricane hits, it topples trees, it blows roofs off. I mean, we are totally off-grid, for want of a better explanation. We won't have utilities or anything, and sometimes it's 2 to 3 weeks. So I try to keep everything I need on hand, and I don't have to worry because you can't get to the store, or the trucks can't get there to deliver the goods, and it wouldn't be there if I could get there. So that's just one scenario, but that's why we've always kept a stocked pantry, is the what ifs of living down here on the Gulf Coast. So y'all stock your pantry with the things. Don't get something just because it's on sale. That's wasting money. Buy stuff that your family likes to eat, because they're not going to be very happy if things are tough and you're making them eat something they don't like just because it was on sale and you bought it. So you need to think about each family member and what you can fix that everybody likes, and get this stuff and put it in your pantry and you'll have it. Now be wise. The good Lord give you sense enough to be wise, and He give you Miss Gay to remind you, and He give you hopefully the funds to buy groceries. So be wise with your grocery money and stretch it as far as you can, and don't buy junk. Buy food that'll sustain you. And by all means, give the good Lord praise and thanks every day for His blessings, the breath that you're breathing and the strength that you have to walk and do. That's pretty important. Somebody brags on my cooking, well, I'll founder them on my cooking. But when you brag on the Lord, it just makes Him happy all over Himself with you. He created us to worship Him and love and adore Him, and so when you do that, you're finding favor with Him. So don't forget to do it. Bless your food before you eat it. That's just been something we've always done. The Bible says if you, talking about the Christian people, if they eat any deadly thing, it won't hurt them. Well, that's why we bless our food, or ask the Lord to bless it to be the strength and nourishment of our bodies. Because if something's in it that we don't need, you know what He can do? He can filter it right out and it won't even hurt us. So don't forget to give Him His due praise and thanks and worship, and be appreciative of the freedom that we have, and to go to church, to do what we want to do. We're blessed right now. I'm very thankful. I've lived a blessed life. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not going to let worrying about the future rob the joy of today. I'm going to enjoy life every day and enjoy every advantage of living in America that I have. And if things change, then I'll deal with it. But right now, I'm just living day by day and enjoying the blessings of the good Lord. And y'all need to do the same thing. So I'm going to get off of my soapbox and I'm going to turn the camera off and try to upload this video. And I'm going to eat a little bit more of this stuff. April and them are going to come, but I'm going to eat a little bit. I hadn't eaten today, so I'll eat a little bit before they come. And I'll talk to y'all again in a day or two. The good Lord bless you and keep you safe. Y'all stay cool.